All right, welcome to our second breakout session of the night. Holly Rachel is a co-founder of Rachel plus Winfree Data Analytics Consulting, a consulting firm that helps small businesses design and implement data strategies. A core part of the method is data coaching, which focuses on changing company culture to ensure a smooth digital transformation for the entire company. Holly is a native of St. Louis, Missouri, and currently resides in Nashville, Tennessee. Big data is not only for big businesses. This talk outlines strategies that help small businesses take advantage of data technology and compete in the data-driven economy. Welcome, Holly, to the stage, and the space is yours.
Hello, everyone. So thanks so much for joining. I am very excited to be talking with you all today. I'll be monitoring the chat pretty closely, so feel free to put any comments, questions in there, and I'll be trying to make sure that we get you guys out, on time, and that we still have time for some questions. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Celisa. I hope I said that right. Hi, everybody. Okay. So before we get started, I want everyone to know that this presentation does come with a workbook that helps walk you through designing a data strategy for your own business. And you can download it for free at rachelwinfree.com. I'm going to put this in the chat. If you click the yellow bar at the top of the homepage, it will allow you to download that. So as we're going through, there's going to be some questions to answer, and you all can do that through the workbook and follow along, or you can just print it out for later. Whenever you get a minute, you can fill it out for your own business, and you're able to design your own data strategy with that. Okay, so without further ado, let me share my screen and we will get going. All righty. Okay. No, I don't think I want to do that tab. Different tab. All right. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Let's talk about, first of all, who is Rachel Winfree? Here you see myself and my business partner who was not able to make it tonight, Lena Winfree. And Rachel Winfree Consulting is a data analytics and IT consulting firm. What we do is we help small and medium businesses design data strategies, which we're going to talk about what that is, why it's important in tonight's presentation. And we also help them implement by providing end-to-end services. So if you're a small business that does not have data scientists on staff, data analysts on staff, database administrators, people who can do your data visualizations for you, then we have the resources to provide that to the small business so that they're able to actually implement the things that we recommend. Because we found that a lot of times, when you're a small business owner, and we know this because we're small business owners, you're wearing a lot of hats, okay? You don't want to be a data scientist. You just want to know what your data is telling you, right? So we found that this was the best way to really help our clients understand their data and really enact those projects that we recommend to them. We believe that becoming data-driven is very simple. It doesn't have to be confusing. It doesn't have to be intimidating. And so you're going to see as I go through this presentation that really it's not as hard as some small business owners believe it to be. It can be very simple, and you can start small and you can still reap a lot of benefit from even just starting small with a data strategy and applying that to your business. All right, so rachelwinfree.com, you can download the data strategy toolkit at any time. It is free. You can do it now and follow along, or you can download it afterward and do it at your leisure, okay? All right, so number one, what do I mean when I'm talking about data? In its simplest form, data is just information, okay? I'm not talking about zeros and ones. I'm not talking about, having all the numbers from your sales. I'm not talking about conversion rates or anything like that. I'm just talking about simply information. If I stuck my arm outside the front door and I said, "Oh, it's chilly, and let me put on a coat," I have used data, right, to make a decision. And That's literally all it is. Okay, so let's just start there. That's all I'm talking about today. Taking information and using that information to make decisions, in this case, for your business. You do not have to be an expert to get started with a data strategy. You do not need a team of analysts or data scientists to design a data strategy, okay? It can be as simple as you need it to be for where you're at right now in your business. Okay, so what is a data strategy? A data strategy is the plan that you make for how you're going to use data in your business. That's it, okay? It's going to answer questions like, what data do I have access to? What problems do I need to solve? And how am I going to use data to solve my problems? Now, the whole what problems do I need to solve is a very, very, very big part of this. And we put a lot of emphasis on that because a lot of times what we call understanding the business problem is a huge deal when it comes to data analysts or data scientists working in a corporation. Being able to understand what the business problem is can be kind of a roadblock for some people. So it's very important that that part is very clear. What is it that you're trying to solve? I'm sure that all of you, if you have a small business or work in a small business, probably have in your mind already an idea of a problem that you need solved, a question that you want answered, and a data strategy is a great way to make sure that you are being data-driven when you go to answer that question. And why do you care? Okay, a clear data strategy allows you to improve your decision-making, monetize information, big one, because there are companies such as Google, such as Facebook, that are monetizing just information. Like they just sell it. They just sell the information as it is, and people can get it and they will make decisions based on their own needs. Okay, so monetizing information is a pretty big deal right about now. Gaining insight on your customer. This is a marketing conference, so that is a really big deal. And developing new products and services. All in all, these things help you make and save money. As business owners, we know it's important to make money. It's almost as important to save money, to be able to cut down on overhead, to be able to push that bottom line up so that you can be as successful as you possibly can, right? Okay, so in the chat, I want to know, what is your role in the company? I want to know if you're a business owner, if you are the small business's marketing, like liaison or marketing professional, if you are a data professional. Let me know, because this way I can kind of, okay, so co-owner, very nice. This way I'll be able to kind of give you all examples that actually apply to you, okay? Okay, so co-owner, owner, I'm seeing a few owners, good. So keep putting those in the replies and I will make sure that I'm looking at those. Okay. Okay, so first step here, before we get started with the data strategy, what you need to do is you need to do what we call a readiness assessment, okay? This is where we assess basically, where are you at currently, okay? What is your baseline for your usage of data? Is the business currently using data? You know, how much, if they are at all? Is data influencing day-to-day decision-making? How are other organization members using data, if they are at all? You kind of want to know, where am I in terms of what we call data maturity, right? So there's people who are not using data at all, you know, they're data immature, or, you know, they're starting out. And then you have people who are companies who are very mature, and that would be like Google, that would be like Twitter, where they know what data they have and they know how to use it, and they are maximizing that thing to the fullest. Okay, so that would be what you call very data mature, which is kind of where we all want to be, right? We want to be in a place where we know that we're using all the data that we can to make the best decisions for our business and optimize our business as much as we can. So the first thing that you're going to do, make sure that you assess your business and you know, take a look and see, hey, where am I really when it comes to data? Do I know where my data is? Am I able to predict changes in my market using data? Am I even collecting the data that I need to collect? Ask yourself kind of the hard questions so you can see where you're at and what you need to be doing first as you kind of start moving towards greater and greater data maturity. Okay, so we're all here to kind of learn how to use data in marketing and to make business decisions. If you will, one more question in the chat. Let me know, what is your main obstacle that you see as your main obstacle to becoming data-driven? For some people, it may be just confusion on where to start. Some people may feel that money is an obstacle to becoming data-driven. Some people feel that resources as far as staff may be an obstacle to becoming data-driven. Whatever you feel is the biggest obstacle for you when it comes to using data, let me know in the chat. What we tend to find when we go into a business that wants to become data-driven is, number one, some confusion / intimidation. Okay, maybe they feel like it's a little scary. They're not sure how to do data, how to use data, and they're a little bit confused about what tools they need to get and how much money they need to spend and who they need to hire, who they don't need to hire, etc. Number two, which is a big one, is leadership buy-in. Now, it seems like most of the people in this session are owners. So you would be the leadership that I'm talking about, in addition to maybe your department heads or people managers. Leadership buy-in can be a very, very big hurdle for businesses when they're first starting. And even for the bigger businesses, because if the leadership does not buy into it, it's going to be very hard for you to get the other organization members to buy in as well. And then finally, our silos, which is basically like people in marketing are using the marketing data. They're not going outside for any other additional data from any of the other departments, nor does any of the marketing data get out of the marketing department to the other departments. Okay, so the silo is basically like, this information is just in this one little place. It's not moving out and no other information is getting in. Okay, so a lack of communication between departments and between people in the organization can be a big hurdle for businesses when they're trying to become data-driven. Lauren says that, yes, not being sure where to start, that's kind of a hard one, because there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of information out there. Understanding the information. So understanding, I know a lot of times I'll read things about data and it's very like heavy on the tech and that can be a little bit confusing for people. So not really understanding what they're talking about when they're saying when they're talking about data and data analytics, that's a hard thing as well. And then locating places to find the data and finding time. Yes, very big. If you are an owner and you are doing multiple jobs in your business, finding time can be, very struggling. So in this session, we're going to talk about some things to kind of mitigate some of those challenges, to save some time, ways to find data, and kind of where we're going to start. Where we're going to start with this thing. Okay. All right, so we have broken this down into 5 steps to designing a data strategy. Here we go. Number 1, we are defining goals, okay? This is, what problem am I trying to solve? What is the business problem? Please spend as much time as you need on this step, because this step is very, very important. If you don't know specifically what you want to find out, or how you want to use the data, and what your goal is, it's going to be very tough for you to get the answer on the other end of this, because there truly is so much data out there. There's, for better or for worse, everything that we use is collecting data. So even if you think you don't have a lot of data, you have a lot of data, and there is a lot of data available to you. So you want to make sure that you're very specific with your goals, that you are choosing SMART goals, and that you are choosing appropriate KPI, meaning how are you going to know that you are hitting your goals? And we're going to avoid metric bloat, which I'm going to talk about on the next slide. But defining your goals, first step after your data assessment. Defining your goals is the first step to figure out what is the business problem that I am trying to solve here. Okay, so a quick note about choosing KPI. Many data projects fail because organizations are measuring inappropriate or irrelevant KPI, or they're measuring too many things. Again, there's a lot of data out there. You cannot measure every single thing at one time. It's not helpful. It becomes overwhelming, and it makes people want to give up. Okay, so you're going to keep your number of KPIs or key performance indicators to 1 to 3. More than that, and you're doing too much. Okay. Asking KPQs or key performance questions can help. The way that this works is you ask a KPQ, which is, how do I know if my ads are effective? That's just an example here. And the answer to that question, or the thing that may help you answer that question, is going to be your KPI. So how do I know if my ads are effective? Number one, are people clicking on my ads? Ad clicks, that could be a KPI that I need to measure. Are these clicks turning into leads or into buys, conversions? That's another KPI that I might need to measure. So you can go through and answer your KPQs. If you come up with more than 1 to 3 answers to your KPQ, choose 1 to 3 of your most relevant and go with that, okay? Number 2, data ingestion. Where is the data coming from? A lot of times small businesses think that they do not have data because maybe they don't have a data team, and that is not true. Everybody has data because it's 2021, and whether you like it or not, you've got data, or somebody has data about you. So there's data out there, and all of the platforms that we use in our business, the CRM platforms, the point of sale platforms, our social media accounts, the website, all of that has data. It's being collected somewhere, and it is most likely available for you to use. So your CRMs, your point of sales, they will probably have your data already within the platform, and there's probably a visualization of the data. Like if I were to go to my Instagram social media account and look at my analytics, it's going to show me how many people liked this post, on which day, how many people saw the post, how many people interacted with the post, et cetera, et cetera. It's all right there in the app. And a lot of platforms that we use now are just like that. So you may not have to do much at all to your data that you get, because you can go right into the platform and it'll all be laid out for you. There's also public data sources. We're talking about data.gov, census.gov, data.nashville.gov. Those are public places for you to get data about the area that you're in, or about the United States or whatever. And it's available for you to download and use. So adding those external sources is very helpful, because you're able to basically build on the insights that you're able to get from your internal data, which would be your CRM or your point of sale. Okay, third step, data management. The question here is, how do we make this data actionable? It's all fine and dandy to know that 500 people liked my Instagram post. What do I do with that? So what? Okay, so remember that you need to clean, store, and visualize the data. In the workbook, it's going to say CTL, that's clean, transform, and load. But for most people, you will not need to do that if you're using the analytics capabilities within a platform that you're using. But you need to clean, store, and visualize the data. Fortunately, there are plenty of tools available to do this. Many of them are free. So again, like I said, your CRM that you're using is already going to have your analytics in there available for you. Your social media platforms, analytics are right there for you. Websites, it's all there. If you are doing something that's a little bit more involved, where you're going to be cleaning, storing, and visualizing the data on your own, then you have cloud storage that is free up to a certain point, Google Data Studio, Microsoft Power BI, even Tableau has a free version. So there are lots of low-cost tools that are available to us as small and medium business owners. Number 4, data security. So it's very, very, very important that we know how to keep our data safe, okay? Because most cybersecurity attacks are targeted towards small businesses. And if you're a small business and you suffer a $200,000 loss based on a cybersecurity attack, that could possibly take you out, especially if you're in the middle of a pandemic. And, we're all trying to figure out what the next step is. So you do not want to leave yourself open to attack. You want to make sure that you take care of the data, keep it safe from the beginning. So what you'll want to do is, of course, among other things, that you are making sure your passwords are secure, not writing down passwords on sticky notes and leaving them around the office, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to want to tier your data. A lot of times what people have an issue with is, well, I don't want everybody in the organization to have access to every piece of data, which is understandable, okay? But you can tier your data to figure out what information should be available to whom and how you're going to make sure that the appropriate people have access to it. All right. And the 5th and last step, data literacy or data culture. How are you going to make sure that everyone can use and understand the data that your organization is producing? If you have data and nobody is using the data, it's not worth anything. You are not making nor saving money with that data. So you want to make sure that not just one person, not just your analyst, but everyone is able to use and understand the data. The more people that can use the data, the more insights and the more unique insights you're going to get. So you want to involve your employees in your data strategy, and you want to make sure that everyone knows how to use the data tools that you choose to use. So make sure everyone knows how to use your social media insights, or make sure everyone knows how to use the CRM platform and how to gain insights from that. You want to make sure that you're starting at the top. So if you're an owner, it's going to start with you. You start talking about data. You start showing employees your data. You start asking other people in the organization to make decisions based on the data, right? So it's going to start with you. You got to lead by example here. Okay. Some final tips. You're going to want to start small wins more often. If you start with your Instagram analytics, great. Start there. Okay. We don't need to necessarily go get external sources here and pay for something from a data mart there and, mix it all up in Tableau so you can visualize it. And then we're going to get insights. You don't have to do all that. Okay. Just go start where you are. If you're at social media, that's where you need to start. Go take a look at your analytics on social media and see what information you can get from that. Understand how the platform is working, how they are visualizing your analytics, what you can learn from that platform, and go there. Small wins more often will build your confidence and make you more likely to continue using data for other business problems. Utilizing external data sources by combining your internal and external data is going to lead to more opportunities and insights. Also, by making data available to others in the organization, it's going to lead to more opportunities and insights. So don't neglect that. Make sure that everyone is involved, and make sure that you are looking at the data from multiple angles, if I can say that, utilizing that internal and external. Once you get there, you don't have to do that at the very beginning, but once you get to a place where you're comfortable. And then lastly, buy in. Using data does work for businesses. Using data provides better decision-making skills. It allows you to see things in a different way and basically have a new perspective on the business problem that you're trying to solve. Okay, so believe that it works, buy into it, and just go out there and try. If you're a beginner, just try some new things and see how it works. The more you practice it and the more you do it, the better you will get. Okay. Time to take action. None of us get there by wishing or hoping, but only by working. So go out there, do some work. Here's all of our information. We would love to connect with you. You can go to our website. Here are all of our social media tags: Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, the whole nine. We're also on Facebook. And you can also email us at admin@rachelwinfree.com. And finally, you can check out our podcast on iTunes. It's called Data Tea with Rachel and Winfree, where we talk about data strategy and how small business owners can take advantage of it. If there are any questions, please put them in the chat, and I will try my best to answer them in the last few minutes. If not, feel free to email me or send me a tweet on Twitter, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you all for coming.